Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have Andre Iguodala, who has shut LeBron down. Kevin
Yeah, I was gonna
Durant.
say, I don't think Draymond can do it himself, but Adu has given LeBron problems.
Yeah, and I mean, Zaza Pachulia, he's just out there like whatever happens, he could run into LeBron, knock him over maybe. But I don't know.
I think they just double him and just live with the consequences, and then just outshoot them.
Hope that Harden hits his shots. I don't like that. I don't like that. The odds of that, honestly, but I think Warriors are going to win it. My original prediction was Warriors over Toronto, so I'm sticking with the Warriors to win it.
Yeah, I think they win it. All right.
I'll tell you who's not winning it, and that's the New York Knickerbockers.
Oh, the Knicks.
Yes, breaking news, apparently.
The Knicks are bad. No,
the Knicks are bad. So you got a new head coach named David Fizdale, who has a losing career record, is going to be without the best player on the team for the entire season.
Oh, the Knicks are going to be bad next year. I don't think anyone in the front office is expecting them to be good at all. I want them to get a top 5 pick. That is my literal hope for next season.
You have 4 point guards, none of which can start, apparently. So the Knicks are just in a world of pain right now.
Nah, the future isn't that bad.
I didn't say the future. I said right now.
The front office actually has direction, which I like. They want a modern coaching style, which Fizdale brings. He admits to the mistakes he made in Houston, which was him butting heads with Marc Gasol for the most part, and then losing locker room as a result.
I did watch.
I think Fizdale wanted to push his offense too soon on the Grizzlies when they were not built for it.
I watched.
I think one of your points when we talked about this was you need to work with what you have.
I watched the announcement today on MSG, and he had said he realizes now where he messed up with the Grizzlies, and that was coming in guns blazing, saying you're going to do things my way or the highway, instead of getting to know the team and how they work together. Because when they worked together, it was a beautiful thing, and they were a dominant force. When he pushed what he wanted, things just completely fell apart, and I think that's a good lesson to come in with Phil Jackson wanting to push the triangle, having just been pushed out.
Yeah.
So I think that they need to, he needs to. His first year is going to be horrible. The Knicks are going to be really bad without Kristaps Porzingis, unless they can somehow lure Damian Lillard away from the Blazers for nothing.
Yeah.
It'd have to be for nothing.
Yeah, I get the criticisms of Fizdale. Could have been worse. I was terrified that they would hire Mark Jackson. Super happy they didn't. I'm cautiously, slightly optimistic with Fizdale. Maybe he learned his lessons. He's saying the right things.
You just want to see his wife at Madison Square Garden.
Well, yes, I do. I have no shame about that. My fiance even was like, damn.
But I just wanted something fresh, something new.
I would have loved to see
Jay Wright.
Wright would have been awesome. I would have loved to see Bud, but I think he's going to be the Bucks' new head coach.
And he wasn't ever mentioned, but I wanted Shaka Smart. I just wanted the Knicks to say, we're just going to go with something hot from college that is going to, be a big splash. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But we're, instead of, taking retreads, like when Budenholzer, like that's who you wanted the Knicks to get.
I think he would have been a really good fit.
He just got fired from the worst team in the NBA.
There are reasons, but I'm not going to get into them because it doesn't matter at this point. But there are reasons that he's like the hottest coach. That I think he's going to be the coach of the Bucks. I was high on Stackhouse, which I think we talked about from the Toronto Raptors under lead. He's turned around that team. I agree though. I think there were better options. But this is what we've got, and I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's the best thing in the world. I think it's not bad. And for the Knicks, that's an improvement, because I can't say I was ever super happy with the Hornacek.
No, he's got to be tough on KP. Push him farther than Hornacek ever did, because your star 22-year-old player shouldn't be saying, "Man, I'm tired," in the middle of a season. Like, how is it that LeBron's not tired and he's like 70 compared to you? Like, why are you the only person who's out there complaining that you're tired? Well, it's because your mentality's not right because of Carmelo, and you clearly haven't pushed yourself to where you should have. Otherwise, he would have maintained that MVP-like play. Mm-hmm. So I think he needs to be more physical. I think he needs to get his mentality right. I think pairing him with Carmelo is the worst. I don't think we're going to
see that I'm tired thing this season.
He's not going to play.
Well, I think he showed that. I think he was shown that he had the conditioning this season, and then unfortunately had a freak injury. Not that an ACL tear is a freak injury, but the way he landed on the other player's foot. That's, to me, like, I'm not super worried about KP. I think he's going to come back, and I'm confident he'll come back strong.
I'm not. Big men with leg injuries, not a fan.
Yeah, but it's not like it's like a Derrick Rose where it's a clear, the way he plays that caused the injury. He just happened to come down wrong on someone else's foot, and we watched it while watching the show, and I was immediately like, oh no.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
I immediately knew that was a bad injury. As someone that has come down on other people's feet, I was lucky enough to just, severely sprain my ankle.
And they all went down that night. Canner left.
He immediately went to hold his knee, but I'm not super worried, because a lot of, ACLs are not the injury that they used to be. They're not career enders. You can even tear the same one now and, still come back somewhat.
No, you're right. It's not a death sentence like a torn Achilles or anything like that.
Yeah, the Achilles is a scary thing. Once that happened to Kobe, you knew it was done.
Yeah. But no, Dan Beebe, you're right. In that same game, Enes Kanter had to get stitches in his lip and busted his nose. Mm-hmm. Courtney Lee messed up his shoulder. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't a good game.
Literally watched the season.
Yeah. But, the Knicks are going to be bad next season. What I want to see out of the coaching is I want to see the scheme. I want to see modern scheme. I want to see them, trying to stretch the floor, trying different things, and I want to see young players playing, which Hornacek was not doing because he was
he felt the pressure
attempt to save his job, where he probably could have saved his job had he actually tanked.
Maybe.
Had he just, given the younger guys more minutes. But I don't know. A lot of mistakes were made last season. I'm hoping that they've learned from them. And as I said, I don't think the jury's. I think the jury's out on Fizdale. I think he could have learned his lesson. I think it's worth giving him a shot. Not my favorite signing, but I am cautiously optimistic. Okay.
Now, you and I have discussed this before. I'm not sold on any of the players in the draft. I'm not sold on any players coming out of college right now. Not a single one. There are a couple people from Europe. Luka Doncic, I believe is how you say his name.
He's
going one or two. He's not going to be around with the Knicks draft.
Yeah, nope, not at all.
So if the Knicks draft, let's say 4 or 5, I would hope that...
We're almost certainly drafting like 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope that, someone is willing to just realize that one of their star players is going to be leaving and is willing to take a 9th pick. Like, if the Spurs are like, you know what? We'll take your pick for Kawhi. Okay. Yes. Like, would you object?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't object to that, right?
I don't like the trade scenario where it's like we give Frank, Tim, and like the next like 2 or 3 first-round picks for Kawhi, because that's just like you're not getting Kawhi for a long-term deal. And that's what basically like what the Knicks did for Melo, and it just cripples your future.
The trade scenario that I had seen that I liked to get Kawhi to New York was Frank and Tim and a second-round pick.
I would do that.
I would,
and you
like Frank.
I have a lot of hope for Frank. I think he could become a very good player, but I would do that in a second.
Yeah.
I don't think Tim Hardaway's anything very special. I think he's okay, but we're way overpaying him.
Yeah,
so
but he looks good in his suit, though.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Like, his suit game is like...
You lose Frank, but you also free up a ton of money, and you get Kawhi. Yeah, you do that in a second. Kawhi at 27, and then you have bird rights, you have KP, you have Kawhi, and you keep your first round picks. Yeah, that's a recipe for success.
I mean, the point guards you don't have a star point guard or really someone that right now you can trust to facilitate or run the point. You got Trey Burke who can score. You got Emmanuel Mudiay whose defense and his passing is okay.
He's so streaky. If he could just put it all together consistently, he could be so good.
I mean, the only thing he's really missing is the scoring.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've even seen him put that together. He never seems to be able to put it all together at the same time.
Right.
It's like he can do like one thing at a time.
I think he has the ability to be a very good point guard in the league, but it's like
I worry about his mental.
Yeah,
strength.
this is his 4th or 5th year, I think. Like this is the point where you're playing for contracts now. You gotta step it up. Mm-hmm. You gotta show that you can do what teams need a point guard to do. If you want to get money or whatever, you can't just turn it on when you want to turn it on. So I think
loss of Rubio hurt the Jazz too.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. They also have Rudy Gobert, who I like him a lot. He's very good.
Oh yeah, he's very good. But yeah, just discussing the Knicks.
I mean, Fizdale is probably going to be better than Hornacek. But Hornacek was just...
anything is going to be better than Hornacek, who, had no rhyme or reason to...
He's not even a yes man, he's an okay man.
Yeah, but, no rhyme or reason to who you're putting on the floor, why you're putting them on the floor. You bench the hot hand if you're trying to win. He just made no sense with his rotations, with minute restrictions. One game he's playing Frank 4 minutes. The next game he's playing him
26.
24.
Yeah.
It just made no sense.
He must have had someone telling him, listen, this is not good for us. You need to. There was one game, and it was against the Bucks after after KP got hurt, and the Knicks were leading with under a minute to go, and Beasley had scored 27 points already. He pulled Beasley for the last minute.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Yeah.
Why? And you put it.
And it's not like he was trying to tank.
Put in Lance Thomas.
He didn't know how to tank. It made no sense. So I think literally anything is an improvement over that, and pretty.
God.
Pretty ready to see next season, and I think
they hit threes like no one's business.
KP doesn't play probably at all this season, or very little at the end of the season.
They shouldn't even waste a roster spot on him. Bring someone up from the G League and reserve a spot for him to do rehab in the G League.
Yeah. I would have no problem with
Bring
that.
Bring up Luke Cornett.
You do want to keep him happy though. If he feels ready. You do need to say, okay, let's give you some minutes.
Sign him to a 2-way contract.
Yeah.
That way he can do 40 games in the G League and then 30-something in the NBA if he wants. Like what they had with, what's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, God.
But yeah.
Well, Trey Burke. But whatever. It doesn't matter. You can do the two-way contract where you get a limited number of games in the NBA and most of your games in. Oh, Ron Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.